Hello everyone and welcome to the new class. Up till the previous class we discussed about some basics of adsorption process. Today's class we will discuss how this adsorption process actually takes place. Okay. See, adsorption process is nothing but we know that there is a structure, we have some particles accumulating over it, right? This is actually the adsorption process. Okay. uh, Whatever the particle, whatever the surface is, that surface is known by the name adsorbent, and whatever the particle is being adsorbed, it is known by the name adsorbate, whichever is concentrated. You can understand it very easily. If you are getting confused, there is a small simple trick. We know that something is being concentrated over a surface, right? So something which gets concentrate, it will be adsorbate. Something which gets concentrate, it is adsorbate. It is actually a simple trick to understand. And over which adsorption is occurring, that is adsorbent. So one where concentration occurs, one where concentrated, it is adsorbate. Okay, you can understand by this way. Okay, now how is this adsorption actually taking place? See, whatever the surface is, whatever the surface is, the particles which are present over this, the whatever the particles are present over this, which is surrounding this structure, uh, the surface particles are not having any attractive force with the particles inside, present inside. Whatever particles are present inside, they will not have any attraction towards it, right? So what this particles, or what this adsorbate does, it when it is not in an attraction, it tries to get attracted with the particles present inside, but it is not possible there. So in that case, the force of attraction between this surface particles, adsorbent particles and adsorbate particles, are different, and because of this difference, this adsorption process occurs. What happens in case of absorption process, what happens? There are this inside, there will be some particles, and there will be some particles over the surface, suppose. And what happens in absorption, this particles tries to get attracted with the particles which is present inside, and they get accumulated inside this particular structure, and they get spread over the inside the structure completely. That is how absorption takes place, because they get attracted. But here attraction do not occur, and because of this attraction, no occurrence of attraction, the particles which we had said, now the adsorbate spreads all over this adsorbent structure, adsorbent particle, and they just gets accumulated there, and this results in the adsorption process. This is one factor. Another factor of adsorption is heat of adsorption. We know that the process where this adsorption is taking place, this adsorption really needs some amount of energy, and no matter there is no matter of discussion here that we can clearly say one thing: this could definitely be a exothermic reaction. Adsorption is definitely an exothermic reaction, because definitely there are some attractive forces trying to get attraction, but no attraction occurs there. There will be some heat occurred over there, so definitely it will have a exothermic process. So delta H, or heat enthalpy in this case, will be negative. And if we discuss about the Gibbs energy, delta G, Gibbs energy of any substance, equals delta H minus T delta S. Delta is the entropy, delta H is the heat enthalpy, delta G is the Gibbs energy. We can say one thing, that delta G will definitely be negative, because uh, what happens in this case is, when this adsorption process continues, the heat enthalpy, the heat energy gets decreased, means it is definitely negative. It is definitely negative. So as the adsorption approaches, or as the adsorption continues, the delta H value becomes very much less negative, and it will become so much less negative that it will become very much equal to this T delta S. And in that case, even after it is occurring with G, then this negative energy delta G, Gibbs energy, might change into zero, Gibbs energy as zero. It means in equilibrium state, it will be in a actually it will attain an equilibrium state at a particular scenario. Probably delta G will be negative. There will be no doubt in that. Delta G is definitely negative. But as the delta H minus approaches negative value, it will become same as this T delta S, and the Gibbs energy will becomes zero, which means it will attain equilibrium. Okay. So that's how adsorption process is being processed. Now there are different types of adsorption process, but according to the syllabus, we have to study about two main type of adsorption process, which is done by gases over the solids. So it is mainly on the basis of two main forces, one being the van der Waals force, which is actually the weakest force on nature, van der Waals force. Another one being the chemical force or chemical bonding. On the basis of these both forces, adsorption are actually of two types. One which occurs with the van der Waals force or a weak force. That type of adsorption is known as physical adsorption, or it is also known by the name physisorption. It is also known by the name physisorption. Okay. The force of attraction, the type of force of attraction where van der Waals force is used. Such type of force of attraction, if it is used between adsorption of gas and solid, then that is known as the physical adsorption, or we can say as the physisorption. And in the same perspective, if we discuss about adsorption of gas on solid, that if chemical bonds are used for adsorption of gases over the solid surface, such type of adsorption is known as chemical adsorption, or we can say it by the name chemisorption. Chemical adsorption or chemisorption. I hope you understood the concept. So they are the two basic types of adsorption. One physisorption, another one chemisorption. One is physisorption, another one is the chemisorption. Okay. One uses the van der Waals force, other uses the chemical. One uses the van der Waals force, another uses the chemical bond force. Okay. Now what are their characteristics, or what are their significances? We can see one by one. First, we will discuss about the significance or characteristics of physisorption. Lack of specificity. What is actually lack of specificity? We know that van der Waals force are found everywhere in this nature. So if any particular gas want to act as an adsorbate over an adsorbent surface, There is no need of any specificity, means any gas can go and stay over any surface. There is no specific gas that must be over a specific solid. So there is a lack of specificity there because van der Waals force is present everywhere in the nature. That's the first characteristic. Second one, the nature of adsorbate. See, how much amount of gas must be absorbed over the solid depend upon the nature of the gas, what type of gas it is. Some gas are very easily absorbed because they will have strong van der Waals force. Like for example, here if we can say, if we have 1 gram of charcoal, the solid structure, and if we are taking 3 gases here, sulfur dioxide, methane, dihydrogen, then all these cases we can say sulfur dioxide, more sulfur dioxide is absorbed than the methane, and more dihydrogen is absorbed than the methane, which means actually the dihydrogen is very easily being absorbed over the particular charcoal very easily, because dihydrogen gets easily absorbed. And then if we consider that methane gets easily absorbed, after that sulfur dioxide is being easily absorbed. Means the order will be like hydrogen can easily absorb very easily, then methane can absorb somewhat less than dihydrogen, then if we consider, then sulfur dioxide will be somewhat less than methane. Okay, then talking about further their characteristics, they are of reversible in nature. Means the physisorption process, when solid and gas are absorbed, the reverse process can also be done. Even if they are separated or they are removed from each other, they can be absorbed again together. Surface area of the adsorbent, larger the surface area, we know if the some structure is very large, then the adsorption is also very much larger. So the larger the surface area, the larger will be the adsorption. Okay, enthalpy of adsorption, we know that adsorption is an exothermic process, so definitely physisorption will also be an exothermic process, but still the enthalpy of adsorption is somewhat low here, because the van der Waals force is present between gas and solid. So because of that reason, because of the presence of this van der Waals force, the enthalpy of adsorption is somewhat low, but still it is an exothermic process. That's about physisorption. Now if we talk about chemisorption, it will be highly different. High specificity means a specific adsorbent is necessary for a particular adsorbate to be adsorbed. It is irreversible, means even if they are separated, they cannot be mixed together. Surface area, if we consider, it is somewhat same surface area. The case of surface area, the larger the surface area, the larger will be the adsorption for chemisorption. Enthalpy of adsorption will be high, no doubt in that, because chemical bond are present there, so enthalpy of adsorption will be very much high. Okay, so that's about physisorption and chemisorption. Here is a table regarding it, regarding the whatever characteristics we had studied. Go through it, you can understand it very easily. So that's all about this topic, physisorption and chemisorption. So your homework for today is to write whatever we had studied today about physisorption, about chemisorption, about how how the adsorption process takes place, difference of chemisorption and physisorption. You have to write this table also. Okay, because in exams sometimes this difference is also asked. Okay, that's all about today. I hope you understood the basic concepts. Thank you and have a nice day.